Hey everyone, how's it going? So on this episode, we're doing a Plastidip project. At least it's more of a kind of a Plastidip experiment. Though I've seen it done before on other vehicles, but in this case it's going to be slightly unique. So, as you know, my SS Trailblazer is dipped, and I've had it dipped for over a year now. So, and I think it's time to change it up a little bit. It's got a few little problem areas that need addressed. I had thought about, peeling the whole thing and starting off with a whole new color, but since it's the end of July now, going into August, and a few months from now it's going to be winter, so I figured, you know what, let's wait for a full color until like maybe early spring. So, with that said, I wanted to try something a little different. So what I'm going to do is a camo job. And right now I have a piece of acrylic that's going to be my test piece. Usually when people do the camo jobs, they usually start with a white or light colored base, I should say. Well, I have a problem. I have a darker color. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lay down a full thing of anthracite on the piece, and then I'm probably going to be doing both sides just for this test. Might do it on one, I don't know. We'll see how it lays out. So the anthracite is going to be the base color. Black is a given that's going to be on there. So the option is going to be whether or not to go with the white or the gunmetal. Have kind of like the dark, black and gray camo, or do more of the Arctic style. So let's go let's go ahead and get started. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and clean the acrylic panel down with some pre-dip spray. Now, I just decided to use the acrylic because I can have it as a test panel for anything, and metal one would have been fine, but could have rust and everything, so figured this is just as easy. So most of you guys probably know, you put down your light coat first, let it dry out, and then come back with your other stuff. Alright, so I have my base coat down. Just finished laying it down a bit. At this point, I need to let it sit for a couple hours before I can even start taping off to do the patterns. So, you may see a little tiger striping in there, but I mean, it's a test panel. I'm not really too concerned about it. I'm just kind of more looking for my overall effect. So I'll check back with you guys here in a little bit. Alright, so let me just backtrack for a second, because when I was just kind of looking from the back side here. So this kind of goes with, if you're ever to the point where you think you may have enough coats, it might still be safe just to put a little bit more on. So here's an example. So you can see, I'm not sure the camera's picking this up well, but it's still very translucent here. This was actually the bottom part where I was spraying. So I actually need to come back. I turn it over so I can get better coverage up there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this sprayed, get a few more coats sprayed down before we let it sit for a while. But one thing I will say, get this turned around. If you ever want to do something with dip, I mean, the acrylic actually gives it a nice shine. It's actually kind of really neat. If you want to do, I know there's people who do paintings and whatnot, so you could probably do some interesting things to have a really nice gloss finish like with this. So that's a thought. So all right, see you guys in a bit. Hey everyone, so alright, I have my base coat down and I've waited several hours before even trying to do any taping off. I had thought about maybe going ahead and spraying the backside, but I actually used over a can just to get my base coat down of anthracite for this. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'll do some I'm going to do a couple, well sorry, let me start that over. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to kind of split the panel. One side I'll do white on, the other side I'll do the gunmetal, and then add in the black into there as my final part. So that way I can kind of have my best look, so to speak. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll tape off this middle section here and start doing section by section and then go from there. Alright, so here's kind of the real rough basic layout, just putting some random stripes in there. So, taping off to do the white and the gunmetals first, and then I'll come back, let this set for a while, and then mask off for the blacks. Alright, and what I'll actually end up doing is I'll take some tape and drape to cover the one section so I'm not getting overspray into it as I'm doing each section. Let that set up, then I'll come back and do some more coats, and then we'll do, after I'm satisfied with that, I'll peel all that up while it's wet, let that dry for a minute, and then we'll do this for the gray. And after that, come back and do the black. So as you can already guess, this is, even on a test panel like this is going to take some time. So I'll check them with you guys in a bit. Alright, so I meant to film pulling the tape up, but my other GoPro was inside charging, so I went ahead and peeled it up. So I did have one slight mistake where I didn't have masking done securely, so that was an issue. But since I'm doing a camo job, when I put the black down, I can go back and cover that up. And I do have some debris that got in there a little bit, and an issue with a spray there when I was moving around, and a little tape line. But again, this is a test panel. This is just for me to test out the idea and see how it is. So now I'm letting the white cure a bit first, then I'll flip the tape and drape over, and then we'll go ahead and do the gunmetal areas. Sit, and I'll come back and do some more coats, and I'll come back to you guys when I'm ready to peel the tape. Alright everyone, so here you go. You can see the tape pulled off. I'll have to see once I get the black on there to really determine if I'm going the gunmetal or the white. At the moment, I'm thinking I might be going with the white, but we'll wait and see how everything else turns out. Alright, so stay tuned. Hey everyone. So, alright, so here we go for the coat of black patterns in there, and we'll see how it actually ends up looking. Alright, so there's the first coat of black down, so go ahead and let this dry, get the other coats on, and we'll peel the tape up and see how it looks. So, leave some comments in the video and let me know what you guys think. If you guys like the white better or the gunmetal. Now remember, there's an anthracite back because that's how the Trailblazer is. And then I was considering, you know, dropping black and white on top of it, or the black and gray on top of it. Someone told me to maybe do white and gray, but I don't think the gray stands out enough. So we'll see. And the only other thing I'm not really taking too much of a liking to is the fact of, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's like an edge line, which I guess should be expected when you're doing something like this. So you have an edge line from the previous patterns going over top and so forth. So let me know what you guys think. So if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. As I said, you know, leave me some comments. Let me know what you're kind of thinking on this. If anything, you know, maybe it's just a piece of artwork. Who knows? Something nice to test. I mean, this piece is just really nice to test on it. You can actually see some of the pattern shine through there. So I may not have had it really dark enough. Let me see. Make sure I'm not grabbing any black. Or just kind of, you know, it's actually just it's the black ones that are, seems like that's bleeding through. And that might be the fact that since the dip's still wet on that side, it's reliquefying the dip a bit. So, yeah, drop a like, comments, questions, and if it's your first time stopping by the channel, please subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.